What's up, y'all? This is Brother Dooley, aka the Beantown Ghetto Shaman. Um, Brother Uncle Tep Ra, Dara Kumba, Duala. We got many alias, different names for different seasons, different energies at the time. Um, Doing this video on activating your spiritual powers. You know, for those who might not have heard this before, they might not be aware that we have power within us. But it does reside in us. I recently read this book, which was amazing. It was called Faces in the Smoke. I forgot the dude's author's name right now. Um, yeah, I forgot the guy's name right now. But it's an interesting book. It's about this anthropologist who's traveling around the world and basically interviewing different healers from around the world and their whole view on how they see their whole healing techniques and all that. And there's a lot of amazing accounts in the book, but there was one particular chapter in the book which really struck me as very interesting, which was the chapter on Haiti, the mystics within Haiti. They had one chapter called The Secret Society of Flying Men, you know, which was, you got to read the chapter to see what I'm talking about. But a lot of people, when they hear about secret societies, some people go into the whole left field of conspiracy theory, Illuminati, this and that. But before these established groups like the Bilderberg Group and all this stuff ever existed, Skull and Bones, all these other things, you had indigenous secret societies across the world. And the purpose of these groups were to be able to hold the ancient wisdom and knowledge close to the people who were serious about developing themselves, so we wouldn't get in the hands of knuckleheads that want to exploit it and use it for their own benefit, you know? And kind of touch on that a little in the book, man, when this anthropologist wanted to basically be a part of this ritual with these men that could fly. For some people hearing this, they might like, dude, you tripping. Ain't nobody could fly. Ain't never seen nobody that fly. And that's the main thing. You ain't supposed to see anybody fly, especially in this America or Western Hemisphere like this, because a lot of people, they're not really ready to be able to receive or understand that particular science. There's one dude about 15 years ago, about almost 15, 16 years ago, I was digging deep within the Tibetan Buddhist science, the whole Mahayana Vajrayana path, In Buddhism, they have different schools of thought, even within that whole set. They have the Hinayana, more with the monks and nuns, Mahayana, more for the people who want to get into the spiritual path, who are householders or family men and women. They got Vajrayana, which is more the esoteric, So they all have their own different flavor. And what was so interesting within the Mahayana Vajrayana path, a lot of people know about this dude named Milarepa, who was a deep enlightened yogi who knew the science of flight, who knew how to fly. So there's a lot of historical people, if you do your own research, to see that these people actually existed and they manifested things at will, used more of their innate power that most people are not aware that we have, Big up to the late Dr. Delbert Blair. He spoke upon Simio Toko, who's from the Congo, who is another individual who activated his inner power. He was dealing with the Belgian government who were trying to go over there and take over the Congo and colonize them people over there. Simio Toko had so many hits on his life, they couldn't touch him. Had one instant where they kidnapped him, had him in his plane, and he literally stopped the plane in midair. And the people that kidnapped him was begging him, like, please, please, Don't let the plane go. We don't want to die. It's another cat named Sheikh Amadou Bamba, he's from the Senegal. They try to kill this guy over 280 sometimes. And you could just look him up yourself, and some of the things, try to poison him, try to kill him, kicked him off his plane. The German army, that's when the Pope got involved trying to take this dude out, and they couldn't touch him. And they can't touch anyone who is an enlightened being, straight up. Now, the thing that is interesting is that most people like to put these people on a pedestal, like these are special individuals. No disrespect to these people, they put in the work to get where they're at. But a lot of people have the habit to put somebody up that manifests those things like they ill. You know what I mean? Like they something special about them, when the true fact of the matter is that this resides within all of us. Just got to do the work. I have a friend of mine, and this really happened. The truth, this sister, she's from the Bean, she's from Boston, and she was running real early in the morning, right? They have a big park up near in Roxbury, Dorchester area called Franklin Park. She was running, doing some jogging early in the morning, running real fast. She told me, dude, I ran so fast I started to levitate off the ground for a couple of seconds. She got so scared, right? Because it was out of her normal everyday experience, right? That she was looking around like, oh my God, did I just do what I just thought I did? You know what I mean? And as she was looking around and stuff, she didn't, no one was there to see what she just did. She went home and told her mom what happened. Now, what I find interesting was her mother's response. She said her mom said, well, girl, I did that so many years ago when I was a young teenager. I was running so fast and I started coming off the ground. She said, don't you know that gift resides in our family, runs in our blood? So, and this woman, she's a sane woman. She's not crazy. She's not a pathological liar or anything like that. And she had this experience, I mean, there's an actual technique amongst the Tibetan Buddhist practitioners, the science of the Tibetan Buddhist monks. I remember I was sitting down with one of the lamas. This was a hot minute ago, and the translator was telling me, I believe it was this guy named Garchen Rinpoche at the time, because I took one of these initiations with one of these elders, real deep elder. And Garchen Rinpoche was speaking through the translator and saying how they had one technique called the fast run, or fast, I think it was called the fast running technique, where they put these particular mantras or words of power, and they write it on the soles of the monks' feet, and they would that mantra would be able to activate them to run very quick and very fast over these high Himalayan mountains. So it would look like the Jedi, when you would see the Jedi running real quick, real fast. You know what I mean? That was an actual technique that these elders knew about and still know about. You know what I mean? The same thing, another technique that they know is called the Tumo technique. The Tumo technique is a technique where you're able to rise up the energy so high in your body that you're able to heat up your body at will. If you look up, I think it's National Geographic or something, where they show these monks, they're high up in the Himalayan mountains, and they have them actually sleeping overnight. In the altitude of this, a normal person couldn't even stand it. Never mind sleeping overnight and putting these, they just had a little robe or whatever that they covered over their head and put snow on top of themselves, on top of it. The cameraman came up in the morning and seeing them just brush off the snow like some bear or something. And they was mind blown. They was like, how the hell could these monks survive that and not freeze to death? Because they was using the inner heat process, tumo, which is another ancient technique that deals with chi, with heating up the body. And that's why it's not a coincidence that Hitler, during his reign at that time, was trying to take the Third Reich to come over there and have some of these Germans study some of their science that they had over there in the Himalayan mountains, because the actual science that was passed down through the Dravidians, the ancient blacks of India that went from India to Tibet and stuff, a lot of the ancient ones were slaughtered when the Aryans came in and all that. So this, wherever a invasion would come, the ones that held that psychic knowledge knew they had to pass that knowledge on to different isolated places so the knowledge wouldn't be lost. You know what I mean? But I'm running out of time. Open up your psychic powers. For those people of color, it's inspirational to see people that look like you who've done it. Not no fairy tale stuff, not some mythological stuff to see if this person actually existed or not. But look up Simio Toko, Sheikh Amadou, Bamba. These cats were real. You know what I mean? Look up Milarepa, Talopa, Naropa. Look these people up. All right? One love. Peace.